Hello guys and welcome to BackRhymerG's channel, and this is how to play Magix. I'm in a bit of a bad mood today, so now. So let's hope it all goes good. But basically when you're buying your intro packs and whatnot, you normally get a big wad sheet. Actually this isn't too bad because it does tell you what you normally get in this Magic the Gathering core pack. As if I do get asked any questions of suggestion for deck themes, there's some here, like Exalted, Vampires, Humans, Blue Black Evasion, Zombies, Angels, Spirits, Red Burn Tokens, Library Depletions, which is like the ones I've got, and Mid-Range Green. So buy this, don't say you have to. I'm not saying I own the product, but it's about £20–30 I think for that one. Comes with a decent amount of cards. I think it's about cool. You can at least make a deck of each colour, I know that, so probably at least 200 cards. You normally have around 60 in the deck, just for people that want to know what's a nice size. Before I go on to the subject of different effects of creatures, your deck can be as big as it wants, as long as you or the opponent can shuffle the deck. So you could have a deck that big, or you could have a deck the size of this box. As long as you can shuffle, and your opponent can shuffle that, then that's perfectly fine. But today let's go on about creatures effects. Unfortunately I don't have all the effects, but when you buy your own pack, like this one, it's called World Wake, blue and green, very good. I've only had a couple of tries against someone else against this, and I would have to say it's a pretty good deck, so get it if you need it. I have made some adjustments, like adding Sphinx and Robert Back Rhino and Axebane Guardian and stuff like that. But within the pack, if you don't want to hear to my gibberish, you do have a glossary and how to play. This also says about your attacking and defending, right there, right, yeah, by my thumb. Oh, that way. We'll get it right. It's right there, attacking and defending. You do have your glossary all down here. I'll probably go through with the glossary and with my own explanations. Sorry about all the paper crinkling. I will go through the lot. Well, not through the lot, but what you normally have with your creatures. Now, I've got 4 creatures here that I mainly use, and well, if you want to be, if you want to be picky, we have 5 because of flying. So, I did explain in the last video what flying is. It's basically you can only be blocked by creature of flying or creature of reach. Otherwise, it attacks them directly if they don't have flying or reach. So that's what flying is. That's one out of the way. You have, as we would see here, an Axebane Guardian, a 0/3 human droid. But as you can see, just by my finger here, I'm not quite sure if you could get that, but that does say Defender. Let's see if I go adjust the camera. There we go. It says Defender right there. Now, Defenders cannot attack. They can only block, but they normally have a high defense and very little power. Like this one's a 0/3. It's good for 3 mana cost, but it's not great. But then its a tap ability covers for the 3. It basically means you can have any mana depending on how many defenders you have under control. Now my mate has a black deck and he turns all my cards normally into defenders. So I have some with haste, which I'll explain after this, which have haste, which I could summon because I have about 5. So I tap one just to tap 5 mana, and I get my one with haste. Now haste basically means once you've tapped your land and you summoned it, instead of it getting summoning sickness, which means it can't attack, it can attack straight away. Right, now we come to Calcite Snapper, which has Shroud. It says under this creature can't be targeted of spells or abilities. That goes for you, and that also goes for the opponent. So no -1/-1 can't block enchantments, and no +4/+4 gains whatever enchantments from you. So nothing can touch us basically. You can't have. The only thing that could destroy yourself with Shroud is attacking and blocking. It's the only way it's gonna die. Another thing Calcite Snapper has, which is there, is landfall. Landfall means whenever you play a land onto the game as a permanent, which means permanently on the field. Once you've played it as a permanent, it activates its ability. For this, it swaps the power and defense, so it comes to 4/1 instead of a 1/4. Now, the other card that I've got here is Hexproof. Basically means this creature can't be targeted of spells or abilities your opponent controls. So you could give it your +4/+4 boosts or other boosts. It just means that the opponent cannot do, I don't know, put a -1/-1 enchantment, sorcery or instant on it, because it won't work. That's basically what Hexproof is. Now I've got the last creature here, which has landfall, which I've already explained, but this one gives it vigilance until the end of the turn. This landfall instead of changing the power. Now, vigilance basically means when you're attacking your opponent, let's use Rubber Black Rhino here. I know it's a 2/3, but say it's got a boost of, I don't know, +4/+4. So now it's a 6/7. We attack, and we've put a mana down. It's got vigilance, which means once it's finished the attack and it's either destroyed the opponent or it's gone straight to their life points, this becomes untapped and it can block the next turn. Vigilance basically means it can attack and untap, or not untap at all, depending which way you want to play it like that. Now there is Death Touch, which means say we have this as Death Touch and we have this one. I attack it with Death Touch. No matter what the power toughness is on this card, even if this is a 1/1, that card would be destroyed no matter what. Of course mine would be because it's a 1/1, but if this was, I don't know, say 15/15 like it was Spine Worm, then this would be destroyed. So with this, that's Death Touch. You also have Double Strike. Now, say I have an artifact that gives this Double Strike. Let's just say this is the artifact. There we go, voila, Double Strike. Double Strike basically means they can attack twice within that one turn. So I can attack the 2/3, go straight to them if they have no creature like so. So that's 2/3. I can also attack again with the 2/3, equals 4 total damage from one creature. It is good if you have something like the Goliath Sphinx, which means 16 damage within one turn. You also have Flash, which means it can be cast anytime, anywhere, any place. Yeah, so Flash means if it's their turn, you can still play it like an instant, which you can play any time throughout the game. You have First Strike, which means if I have something here, and we have this creature, and I thought, yeah, I could take it out. I'm a 5/1. He's obviously a 1/5. I could take it out. Of course, I'll attack. Forgetting this one has First Strike, which means he would attack first. So that would also end up badly, say if I have 2/2 and he has a 2/3 and that had First Strike, mine would die, his wouldn't, because his attacks first. Or it's an easy way to flip it to your side. I would say is the best way to explain it. Basically means if you have first strike, you attack first in a battle phase instead of your opponent. That's the easiest way, if you get confused. You have lifelink, which means if my creature has lifelink, like so, and I attack either the creature or attack the life points, I get whatever I attack back to me. So this is a 3/4 Rubbleback Rhino. We've got lifelink on it from an enchantment or something. I attack him directly for 3. Now his 20 goes down to 17, and my 20 goes up to 23. You gain a life that you've just done from your power. You have something called nulling, which basically means if a creature says, if you attack directly, no, your deck until you find a land, it means you keep getting rid of your cards until you find a land, and that goes into your grave. You have poison counters. Try and make this fast because I've got 4 minutes left. Poison counters, say we have a snake, we'll use this as a snake, and it says, if you have 10 or more poison counters, you lose the game. Now, I think it's each attack gives a poison counter, not each power is a poison counter. So if it's a 3/4 snake, it doesn't give 3 poison counters, it gives 1, because it's 1 attack. You also have protection from whatever, so here we go. Protection from green, I cannot block it, I cannot attack it, and it cannot block it either. It has protection from enchantment, sorceries, blocking, attacking, etc, etc. You also have reach, which means that you can block flying creatures. Trample. Trample. Say we have a 5/5 trample and a 1/1. My 5/5 attacks 1/1. There's 4 difference. This creature dies, they have 4 difference go towards their life points. Now you can do a group block so you don't take any damage, but I recommend that you block with your highest one, like a 3/3, unless you only have a 1/1 of course. Block with a 3/3 and only take the 1 damage. And that is pretty much everything that there is to do with the creatures. Oh, no, there isn't. There's 2 more. Indestructible. It basically means it can't be destroyed by damage or by effects that say destroy. It can still be sacrificed or exiled, but it can only be destroyed if the toughness goes to 0 or less. That's it. It basically protects it from everything. Intimidate basically means if I have this card, and we'll use 2 cards for an example because we need to. Say theirs is a blue, mine is a green, mine has Intimidate. If it's not a green card, it cannot block it, but if they have a blue and a green card, their green card can block it, but the blue cannot. It must be the same colour for them to block. That's basically what Intimidate is. If it's a blue and green, which some cards are, you can use a blue or green to block it. Otherwise you can't use a white, red or black to block that card. That's all that means basically. So that is everything that's within the glossary and within my knowledge of explaining each creature and how their different abilities work, if they have hexproof, intimidate and stuff like that. I think we'll be doing probably, let's go for how enchantments work and how you can use your enchantments. So like, subscribe, and hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you next time.